Texas millionaire businessman Jake Marandino could easily measure his true wealth by his close circle of loyal friends.
He was a gentle giant. He was a big guy, kind as kind can be.
The well-heeled bon vivant enjoyed being the center of attention at any cozy get-together.
He would have everybody in tears at the dinner party with his stories, literally in tears. He was just so funny, and he was always the life of the party.
Jay, as he was affectionately called, made his fortune flipping houses, and with an inheritance to boot, he traveled abroad, had a showy watch collection.
He liked to buy expensive toys.
And Jay had just plunked down $300,000 on a luxury oceanside condo across the border in Mexico.
That was his next adventure. He went there several times and fell in love with it, and so he wanted to build a condo there. He told me that it was a very safe area, that there were a lot of Americans that were living there.
Jay was living life large, so big he was going to retire early and start a new life.
Jay was going to be packing up a lot of his belongings and was planning on going to the condo in Mexico.
He made it clear too, mi casa es su casa. My house is your house. The more, the merrier.
Jay had a lot of friends. I never thought of Jay as being lonely.
But the 52-year-old art connoisseur's best laid plans came to a shocking and violent end here on this rural highway in Mexico, just miles from his opulent new digs. His throat viciously slit.
Real bloody place.
It was a bloody mess?
Yes.
His bloody body dragged and dumped like garbage 200 feet down. Where was Jake?
Jake was at the bottom of that cliff.
Local reporter Carmen Olson covered the headline-grabbing murder of the rich American who had been stabbed 20 times.
Everybody got scared, you know. Such a thing has never happened in Rosarito.
But who would want to kill such a kind, loving bear of a man? Mexican authorities are baffled. This is paradise, a resort town where life is literally a day at the beach.
Was this a big story at the time?
Yeah, it was a horrible story.
But news of Jay's murder didn't travel across the Texas border as fast.
Come on, Dada.
Abby Ricken is still haunted by the chilling phone call from one of Jay's close friends.
She was crying, and she said that Jay had been murdered. And I was shocked. And she kept saying, Abby, he was murdered. He was murdered. I can't believe it. He was murdered. And I sat down and I started crying. I was thinking that this had to be a mistake, that I would hear from Jay, that they mistook him for somebody else.
It wasn't a mistake. It was a mystery. Jay didn't have an enemy in the world, but his killer showed real signs of rage.
It sounded to me like it wasn't just somebody trying to rob him for a watch. It sounded more like it was somebody who knew him.
The FBI quickly stepped in to work with Mexican law enforcement since Jay was an American killed on foreign soil.
The details are very eye-opening about to what extent they went to cause harm to Marandino.
This is the last place Jake Marandino was seen alive, here at Bobby's by the Sea Hotel, just south of Rosarito Beach. He went down to the lobby at 1 in the morning and told a hotel worker he had to go help a friend who was stranded by the side of the road.
He took off in his Range Rover and never returned.
Marandino's body was found on the highway 5 minutes from Bobby's by the Sea.
Could it have been a random robbery, a business deal gone bad? The list of suspects was thin.
They thought that it was like a serial killer.
Then, out of nowhere, a handwritten note surfaces with a huge clue, a name that leads police to this man.
Oh, my name is Mario Romo.
His real name is actually David Meza, a handsome man pictured here at the Eiffel Tower with his beautiful girlfriend. But Meza had a secret side.
So how long have you been in the industry?
I've been doing this for 2 years already.
David Meza was a male porn model, and Jay, twice Meza's age, had fallen for him.
Jay was extremely generous to this guy, David. He gave him gifts, expensive gifts. That was Jay.
He even presented his boy toy with this souped-up motorcycle. So why in the world would Meza want his sugar daddy dead?
The only thing that could come to my mind is money.
Up next, the twist that nobody saw coming that turns this case upside down.
I said, what? What? I couldn't believe it. The story just got stranger and stranger. I actually said that I can't believe this was anyone besides David.